Hello, I'm Ilze, the host of this podcast, and today I'm having a conversation with my dear friend and colleague Lelde. Lelde is a 26 years young woman from Latvia. She's an artist and creator of spaces for self-expression and transformation. Lelde is also one of the creators of this project, the Art of Wholeness, bringing her art into every detail, whether it would be an educational material that you can find in our page, an Instagram post, or a table decoration during a meeting. Through meeting and overcoming the block of creating art herself, she's slowly and steady opening up as an encouraging facilitator for other people to dare playing around with paper, pencils, watercolors, or any other material, really any, that might help expressing one's inner feelings, which can later lead to true expression in other fields of life. Find out what is Lelde's link between developing inner parent and creative process, her creative process and other people's creative process. Enjoy the podcast.
Hey Lelde, I'm so happy to welcome you to our podcast, The Stories of Wholeness.
Hello, I'm very happy and nervous actually to be in this space and in this conversation.
Right? Because we have had so many conversations in different settings and at least 2 languages. And now we are squeezing some kind of important conversation for me, at least, in approximately half an hour. So let's see how we are doing.
Let's see where this conversation takes us.
Yes. So my first question usually for every guest is, and also to you, is who are you today, right at this moment?
Who am I today at this moment? I feel like today I'm a burst of energy. I feel like these fresh leaves sprouting from the trees. I really feel like the best day of the spring, the day when the clouds are clearing, the sun is out, you feel the warmth and you feel that the summer is approaching. It has already been a beautiful day and I feel like this conversation can just enhance it. So I feel like the best day of the spring.
Wow, that's so poetic. Thank you. It made me already calm me down a bit. Oh. But who are you in everyday life? How would you describe what you are doing? Who are you in life?
Who am I in everyday life? I'm in everyday life. I'm ever changing being that loves to create, that has found a way to create in very visual ways, connected with art, connected with clay, connected with paper, connected with flowing with the colors. And now I'm also trying to find this flow in other aspects of my day-to-day life, which also includes sitting by computer, writing things down, going out in the garden and dealing with my garden. And right now I'm a person who's trying to flow through different parts of my life, flow them together. I don't know. I'm confused right now myself hearing these things, but I'm a being that finds flow, tries to find flow again and again and again. Yeah.
There is a lot of who we can be. I believe in hearing you is, wow, such flow today, really. And then going more into practical, what do you do? Can you describe in 3 main directions what you do professionally.
So this is, I think, probably the hardest question that I will get today. What do? I create different visual art pieces. That would be one aspect. Another thing is creating projects together with beautiful human beings like you and others. Creating these spaces of transformation, creating spaces of wonders. That would be another part of it. And what else do? I also do photography. I also write. I create digital art as well. It's a hard question. It's a hard question now after the break of COVID. Before COVID, it was like very set, and then everything afterwards was foggy, and now it's like, where am I? A bit in this professional kind of aspect or practical kind of sense.
Then for the curiosity, who did you say you were before COVID, actually? I'm curious.
So let me think. Organizer, more like a logistic support for different projects. That's what I was saying, I think, before COVID. Yeah, organizing different projects, different spaces, but more in this logistical sense. I was more involved with that. And now I'm more moving towards facilitating these spaces, which makes me extremely happy and also filled with fear, with this good fear and curiosity. So that's the bridge from before COVID and now.
Such a change in a way, or growth. I have witnessed you growing and we growing together in a way. What encouraged you to grow, to find yourself in different ways, more in this creative flow?
One thing now that comes to my mind, what encouraged me is actually last year, I think it was, I was looking at my pots in this like exactly a year ago. I was looking on my pots of planting things and other gardening things, and there was several seeds growing in one pot, and I was looking at them and thinking, oh, there is not enough space for all of them in this. So I sort of killed one by pushing it deeper in the ground, and I was thinking, it's enough of growth for you. Like, don't grow here because there isn't space for you. And then after a while, still this pumpkin seed came out, and I was so inspired by it because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if someone says don't grow here or like there isn't space for you. It still is there to grow, and that inspires me. That's just very like a concrete story that came to mind when you asked me this question. But it's people and plants, and it's world that inspires me, and I have been very lucky to be surrounded by this environment. And by environment I mean people that are around me that are doing things for the sake of doing them and trusting that this is what they have to do in the most welcoming and gentle way they can, without having this I have to do it because someone says it, but more like I have to do it because it's me that wants to be there and to do that. And that inspires me to see this spark in people's eyes of them doing what exactly they have to do.
So seeing other people doing things.
And plants. and plants growing. People and plants growing, yeah. Without any apologies, without any asking permission on the outside, but like feeling the permission inside of them.
Where did you find the permission for yourself?
it started actually. It started with hearing the permission outside. That was one of the bridges to actually have the spaces that allow you to be. And it was in the training courses with Sandra and Bogdan, with you, where there were these invitations to go and wander and to go and find things. And I remember coming back from these wanders with, I felt like I'm exploring and like discovering new worlds. And that was, actually a permission from outside. But afterwards I understood that it's just this trigger in the best way possible that actually allows me to find this permission from the inside and being okay with how I feel, what I feel, and where I feel it and what I experience. And even though other people don't experience the same things that I do, I can share and be okay that I have felt this. So it started with this permission from the outside, but as I said before, I had the best environment that gave me these invitations.
You say you're lucky in a way that you have these people all around. But somehow, I believe that we, unconsciously or consciously go towards and meet people that we need to meet. What do you see in yourself that gives you this luckiness to be surrounded by people like that?
I think I am capable of seeing magic in everything.
Wow.
And that is and has been one of the connectors with other people who also see magic in everything. That's what I feel like. Really just now looking outside of the window and seeing the last year's autumn leaves, how they slowly move. For me, it's easy to say that they are dancing the most beautiful dance of this midday. And then I have a people across from me who receive it and who are not telling me that, oh, what a weird sentence, or that's too much, or something like that, that they are receiving it and encouraging that. And that's that.
What would you say to a person who says, you're so lucky that you have those people around? What would you say to that person?
I didn't understand the question.
If somebody says like, but you have those people around, I don't have those people. What would you say, or if you would say anything to the person?
Yeah, I feel like with our actions, we are, with our true actions that are coming from this within, we are stating who we really are, and then the people sort of filtrate through. And there can be moments when there won't be anyone around that will recognize this your authentic way of being. But I feel like if a person continues this, there will be someone that will be drawn to it, because it is authentic and it's coming from within. And it can be very painful and lonely and hard. But there has to be this trust that the right people will have the pull, will find a way to your way. Okay, now I'm mixing the words a bit here, but
you're allowed to do that.
I really feel like that it all comes together, and it's just a matter of being yourself, and then finding the people will the right people will recognize you as yourself doing what you're doing. So it's just a matter of trusting, and in those moments when you're lonely and feeling that rather not, it's the right feeling, and it's going to reveal. The people will blah, blah, But it's going to come together, and then again there's going to be, I feel like, these circles of things falling apart and coming together, and falling apart and coming together.
I see a lot of trust in you. Trust that it's gonna be as it's gonna be, and it's gonna be beautiful. Really, I see so much trust.
Yeah, there has to be trust, I feel like. It's like just by planting anything, you're pouring the water, and you have to trust that something is going to grow. And also in the way of being, you just have to trust your own feelings. I have to trust my own feelings. And I'm still learning to do that. But when I do that, those are the moments of the most joy, or the tremendous sadness, but they are so true and so beautiful either way.
In this podcast, we are talking about 4 directions, as you know it very well, that contribute to wholeness, our inner wholeness. When you look back a bit in the past again, what resources did you find lacking, or you found that, oh shit, I have to develop these resources first in order to move forward?
Yeah, looking at the map of wholeness and these 4 directions, I would have to go to the east, to this innocent and sage, and also to the nurturing adult, also to all of the sides in a way. It all has changed quite a lot, but yeah, for the nurturing generative adult, I felt like I had it in a way that I have been taught to have it, this nurturing generative adult, and really having this hard time of really feeling it honestly with myself, because I feel like I was taking it as I had been taught, like this nurturing generative adult, as my parents have been being adults, being these parents to me. I was taking this example and trying to work it for me. But the big switch was when I understood that I have to be my own nurturing generative adult to myself in my own way, trying to find my own understanding, what kind of parent I want to be for myself, not taking the examples that I have had, but actually trying to feel what does it mean for me to be my best parent, and how does it manifests in my own actions toward myself. That still that is still in the process, but this understanding of the role and having these role models and differentiating them, having this difference between them, and noticing that there is a difference, and what is what I need and what is what they thought that I need, and it's not the same.
Who are you as a generative adult and parent for yourself? What's the one quality, exceptional quality?
Acceptance. Acceptance would be the quality that I am accepted. I belong here. That I'm giving to myself this feeling that I am all right. I can be this. I'm imagining myself as a parent, just totally embracing this kid in a way, and being totally okay if the kid comes back fully covered with tattoos, or I don't know, covered in mud, or just drawing on the walls, like fully accepting the one who is running home from the playground. That's what I'm imagining. Acceptance and belonging, giving this feeling of I belong here because I'm here, and that's all.
So beautiful. Thank you for this. This sounds very, very inspiring to me.
It's an ongoing journey, this whole whole map of wholeness. It's a project, a never-ending project. That's how I feel. And then after a layer, there's another layer. And
how do you feel about it as its ongoing project? What's the feeling it gives you?
It's the feeling. It's exciting fear because it's so unknown. And I have noticed that I really want something familiar, that I'm mixing this fear with danger together. And I sometimes, more often than not, approach fear as something dangerous. And now I'm switching that in my head. And now thinking about that it's an ongoing project, I feel like it's still connected with fear and excitement and this, let's see where it's going to take me. And it's, I'm thinking about like just the fact that I don't know where it's going to take me, but I'm excited and afraid in the best way possible. Because already the roads that it has revealed has been just life-changing. It really has been life-changing. And now going even deeper and deeper into it, I'm curious. Let's see.
Could you imagine, like 10 years ago, that you would be here and telling these things and live this life?
10 years ago? No way. No way. I couldn't have. It still feels a bit strange. I'm still stepping into it more and more and more. But I am also enjoying that I can say these words in the way I'm saying them right now. And that I can go to the forest and see this magic. And that I can light a candle and set an intention for a day. That I can put the music on and just dance in whichever way I want to. And it has been very freeing, this whole experience. And 10 years ago, I was heading in totally different direction, I thought. But that direction brought me here. So yeah.
And for the listeners, Lelde is really saying these things with a pleasure in her face. That's what I see in Zoom. Yeah. And this journey brought you, and it brings you closer and closer to people and creating spaces for other people to create, to trust themselves in creative process, in visual creative process. What do you see there? What draws you to this space and this work of co-creation, community watercoloring, and many other?
This creating and flowing with what has been created has come from a place of me actually not being able to create, of me wanting to create, but having these blocks. But the willingness of creating was bigger than these blocks, so I had to overcome this. I took tiny steps towards just finishing a painting that I started and allowing to be whatever kind of painting it's going to be. That's how it started. And painting by painting, month by month, it just opened up. It opened the world to me of creative flow, of just accepting that what is created or what is there has to be there. It, I think, ties together of me as a nurturing generative adult, accepting me for being me here and now, to have this feeling of belonging, I think it has come from this accepting the paintings, accepting that my hand as an instrument is creating what it is creating, and letting the lines being created, and looking at the paper and seeing what's happening more from a distance actually than trying to control it. And then having this revelations in myself of of stepping over these blocks that are within me, and seeing what beauty lies inside of us and is asking for it to be revealed, just inspires me to bring it to other people, to give the permission to other people to draw whatever comes, to mix all the colors, to have the brown or muddy or whatever thing, and enjoy it, like enjoy the mud on the paper, enjoy mixing different mediums. And if it looks like you weren't weren't expecting, or like weren't planning to, perfect, accept it. And if the page is full and you still have the willingness to paint, take another piece of paper, and it's a paper for you here to use and to see what it's going to reveal for yourself, to just open this box of treasure that are within you, and then to see how you can apply it in other spaces in your life, like cooking food or doing different projects with music or anything, actually raking the leaves in the garden. Just see where it takes you without trying to think where you have to be. And I really want to deliver this message to people. And you don't have to be artist for that. You just have to let it be.
Now, listening to you, I'm wondering, what is art for you at this moment? What do you use? What's the purpose, your personal purpose for the art, or objective, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, art for me is right now a very meditative process. It's very, it's about the process, for sure. It's about what is inside, which I am not capable of putting in words or in actions, maybe like in a more common way, as we would, I don't know, talk to others and say what we feel or stuff like that, but more like seeing what I feel on a piece of paper and being with that process. I think art for me is really a tool of revealing myself to myself.
And how do you see, is it possible to combine these things, like art as a process for self and some kind of business side or something?
I do see that it's possible, and already now noticing that people are longing for this permission to create whatever, and then for that whatever to be fully accepted. I think there is a need for that in the world, and just this borderless creative process to be. And like regarding the shape of the business, I'm not so much thinking about it, but I feel like it's also just about to be revealed in a way. Because I feel like the world is longing for creating. Yeah.
This reminds me of our real life tours conversation about creativity about 2 years ago, how intense that conversation was. And how now it's different.
It is totally different, and I remember that conversation quite well. And if people want to hear it, it's somewhere in the depths of Art of Wholeness Instagram account, so you can still listen back to it. And I think at that moment I was very in my head around the art process and being an artist and having this label on myself. very in this headspace definition of what it is and trying to fit myself into it. And also being afraid that I'm going to exploit my art or I'm not going to have enough of it inside of me. But now seeing where it has led me, I feel like if I'm cultivating it more, it also grows more. Like if I take care of it, it also takes care of me. And it just brings more and more fruit than not.
And coming back to a bit to co-creative process or inspiring and giving permission to other people to create, what maybe you can share some concrete story of seeing some person to find something within themselves during the process that you facilitated.
There has been already feels like a lot of things happening, but in one of the projects, like seeing emotions that are coming from these, of these activities where I'm, how to say it, where I'm just giving the invitation to reveal your soul on the paper, for example, and then after that, seeing all the emotions coming out of the person. I don't know where it's going to lead, but I know that it is moving some strings within that one. So it's very terrifying in a beautiful way to see that. To see just like the small actually glimpse of what's within one. But thinking about some other co-creation processes, just recently I was in a training course in Estonia where I opened my notebook, my sketchbook, to anyone who wanted to just draw. And it was such a beautiful and playful conversation. And it's, I don't know, for me it's just beautiful to see that in each one of us, there is this one who wants to put something on the paper, even if it's just a blob or like, it's the most beautiful thing that it can be. And I love giving this permission because it feels like such a tiny thing, but it's actually huge. It's actually huge. And then there's these moments when someone writes back to me that they have gotten their own watercolor sets or bought this paper, and it's just, I think that's the best words that I can ever possibly hear. I think it's just one small thing that is the biggest thing. And again, just the one small thing. And it will take you, and it takes you, and it takes a person. And it doesn't have to consume your whole day for it. It can be just one drop of ink on a piece of paper, and that's already the biggest step.
I honestly celebrate you and your joy, really your playfulness, what you bring to people through yourself, really with your own being, of allowing yourself to play and express, invite people to, and open your home and open your notebook and open your heart. It is truly beautiful.
Thank you for saying these words. It really has been my pleasure and honor to see people opening up in this whole process of me opening up.
But it takes courage.
Yeah. Yes, it takes courage, but it's also, I think this is the courage that has to be brought in the world, the only courage that can serve in this. Maybe I'm getting a bit lost in this sentence, and there's a lot of cats outside running on the side of the river. They are taking my attention away from this. But just feels right. That's what I want to say. It feels right for me to bring this to the world and for me to give it to myself.
And now to more practical thing. Now after hearing you and hearing your story and your feelings and emotions about other people and yourself, can you share one specific, simple practice that some other people might get inspired and also try out?
Oh, okay. So I would say for this practice, one would need a piece of paper and a pencil, for example, or any other writing or drawing tool that's on the hand. And taking the piece of paper and taking the writing tool or pencil or anything in your hand and putting the hand on the paper and starting to draw lines, to simply do that and to notice where the hand takes you and to allow the hand to make whatever kind of lines it makes. Like, because I feel this process of like this dance between, oh, I want to control it or I want to draw it correctly, what's correctly, but then just allowing for the hand to draw whatever is there to be drawn. And remembering this dance inside, that there's this one who wants to, like, I want to do it right. But the invitation would be to know that this piece of paper is especially designated for it to be whatever it's going to be, according to the hand that's holding the pen. And then see what comes out of there. And just allowing that the paper is going to be exactly for that. Because I feel like sometimes if there could be this thought or coming from some childhood memories that, oh, you're going to ruin the paper, or it's a waste of material if you're not drawing a tree that is rooted in the ground and the sun is shining above beautifully showing the shadows and lights. But no, like really giving yourself permission that whatever the hand is going to draw, it's what it has to be exactly on this paper, and allowing the hand to move and allowing the lines to be whatever they want to be. And then if you feel like adding colors, add colors, whichever colors you want and in whichever ways you want. And if you want to rip the piece in half and glue it together back again, it's just allow the process to guide you, and just setting yourself this intention that this piece of paper is going to be created as it has to be created without knowing how it has to be created.
Great. So having a piece of paper, having something to write with or draw with, and just go.
Yeah, and that's just the beginning. That's just this gates, I would say. Yeah.
Thank
For
you.
more fun, you can always take this piece of paper in a car and see where the road is bumpier and where not. And there's just like endless possibilities of closing eyes and drawing with mud or drawing with river water. It's just goes on and on and on.
It seems like it really could go on and on from your process, from your life. It's just never ending process of drawing lines.
Yeah, it just takes one line.
Beautiful. And then I have the final question that I usually ask to every guest. And it is, what is wholeness for you?
Wholeness for me. For me, wholeness is meeting myself. Yeah, it's truly meeting myself, and I cannot tell how and when and how it looks like, because it always feels so different but so intense and relieving at the same time. It feels like coming home to the best home that I can possibly imagine. And yeah, it feels good. It feels relieving. That's the word that's coming to me. And yeah, that's the wholeness for me. It's coming home.
Coming
again
home.
and again and again. But it's again and forward, because it's always changing and deepening, and yeah, that's the wholeness for me.
So let it be. The wholeness is coming home again and again. And this is how our conversation finishes, to keep the time. So thank you very much for dedicating the time and having a space, for conversation in English this time.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to have this kind of conversation with you. I think it was, it was a nice flow. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode. If you want to dig deeper into the Art of Wholeness, make sure you follow us on Facebook or on our Instagram page. Details in the description section below. The podcast Stories of Wholeness is part of the Art of Wholeness, innovative tools and practices for inclusion of vulnerable young people. This project was possible through the Erasmus Plus program, a European Union initiative.